Hello, this is George Kanianis reporting here at the Boys and Girls Club in Dunkirk, New York. Today I am joined with Patty Yoakum from the Chautauqua County Youth Bureau Board. And we're here for Chautauqua Striders today. So,
Yes.
Patty, if you can just kind of give us just a quick synopsis of what your organization does and why you're here today.
Hi, I'm Patty Yoakum with the Chautauqua County Youth Bureau, and I'm the program coordinator there. The Youth Bureau and the Youth Board, we work together. We receive funding from New York State Office of Children and Family Services for youth programs, youth development, and we work together on the funding process with youth serving agencies that request funding, and we go through that process, and we fund currently right now 19 agencies in Chautauqua County, and then we also receive, it's called RHY funding, which is Runaway and Homeless Youth funding, and we fund the Safe House in Chautauqua, that's for the runaway and homeless children, that's in Jamestown, and the transitional independent living programs, there's one in Dunkirk and Jamestown. And we're here, we have our board meeting tonight, and Striders is hosting it, and they're going to do a presentation with some of their program.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Awesome,
Look
thank
forward
you.
to the presentation. Thanks. Okay, and right now we're here with Jill Balvo from Begonia High School. She is currently an intern for Chautauqua Striders. And so we just wanted to kind of get your perspective of what your perception is of the stuff that you've been doing for Striders and in the program in general.
I'm Jill Balvo, and I'm interning at Chautauqua Striders, and basically I'm going into the schools with Bernice, and she's a life skills mentor, and we're just doing different activities with the children and different crafts and life skills projects.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for your time.
I'm just going to show you a little experiment. Okay, cool.
Smaller driblets of 8 cans of water. We're going to pour it into a little pile of them, so I'm going to show you how to do
Now, are you staff or are you students for Striders?
I'm an intern.
Okay.
I go to school at Begonia High School.
Excellent.
Hey man, what school do you go to?
So what's your...
So basically a chemical reaction is going to occur and the balloon is going to fill up with carbon dioxide.
Right now I have about 49.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Okay, I have 7.
Wow.
Why don't you have this? Thank you so much. I'm sure you're trying to get there. Thank you.
Okay.
Have you?
All right.
I'm just going to just like that. Like you have to have like the yours all.
Yeah.
Then you're done.
Oh, what a bummer.
What'd you get to?
5.
All right.
Okay.
That's not very good.
Thank you.
You going here?
Do you want to rinse this out this time?
Very cool.
Good job.
Well done.
Thank you.
Christian
All right, so give us,
right,
for
no,
the
not on
camera,
the
tell us
table
what you
this
want
time.
us to do, okay?
Okay. So you're putting H2O in these pipettes. So once it's on, don't put too much or it's gonna do you know how a tree house cannot have a lot of pressure or it'll just collapse? So this is what it technically is, but it's like a dome.
Okay.
So the point is, we're gonna have a contest to see who can get the most drops. So we're gonna start now. And if you right now, right about 2 drops after you had them, you wanna look down on your knees or something, you'll see. So at the end, when it actually falls, and do not ever bump the table so anyone else loses, because then you might lose yourself. So right there, I got at least 40. How many
I
did you
got
get?
34 that time.
That's the second time.
All right, Patty and crew are coming in. Aaliyah's determined though.
I've worked for Chautauqua Striders going on a year now, and this piece of equipment, I've been visually impaired since birth, been totally blind, and this piece of equipment here is called a Braille Note Touch, and this helps me in, I can receive and I can send emails. Anything Michelle sends me, I can read on here. I can save it as a Word document. I can open the attachments and save as a Word document. There's an app on here called Bard Mobile, which I'll show you in a minute, that allows me to download books in audio format that I can follow along with the students and what they're doing in their classes, particularly English. I don't really have anything for textbooks right now, but I can follow along with their English reading, which they're reading The Outsiders right now by S.E. Hinton. So I'm going to read a little bit of this document that I created out of an attachment. I had a chance to participate in the Girls in STEAM event, Strides for STEAM. I was a judge for the contest. The products that they made, the project. And so I'm going to read some of this to you. This was the criteria that I had to judge off of, fill in the boxes. So, knowledge of project and or design. Project or project is incomplete. Team does not understand concept. Project or product is complete, but team does not understand concept. Project or product is complete. Team demonstrates basic knowledge of concept. So that's basically what that is. And if you open this part up, you can use it as a touch screen or a visual display. So that's the screen. Okay, and then I can open. Oops. I gotta put this down. I can't. I've never tried to type with the touch screen, so it's like. So let's see. I'm gonna do. Oof. Some crumbs on here, not good. I try to keep it clean, but sometimes, like we all do. I opened Bard Mobile, and I have a cookbook right on here because this is my personal books. But I also have other books on here for the students, and there's the Outsiders. There's the Outsiders. And it reads it. Sorry if you can't hear it. I'm just showing you a little bit of it. Okay, stop that. And it has all the controls of a book player on this application. I teach. I tutor students from kindergarten till about 10th grade right now. And I'm also bilingual, so I speak in Spanish. So if any of the middle schoolers have any Spanish they need help with, I help them to pronounce words. I help them with it. Do you have any questions?
No, you're amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I also have a computer at home that I have a scanner, and it scans it and puts it in speech, or I can create a document and print it out in Braille. Thank you.
Is this piece of equipment pretty common?
This is new as of last year. This is the newest in the Braille Note family. I have back at home a Braille Note Classic, which is basically your old school Braille Note. It's basically, the basics. It has the word processor. It does have access to a book reader. It has internet, but it needs a modem connected to it. So it's like the old school modem. And it was basically one browser. So, your basic browser. I don't think I was able to do email on it. I can't remember. But,
What site do you work out of?
Brockton.
Brockton?
Yeah. Oh, and also when I can use this to email Annalise, my coworker, the daily logs for what we did for that particular day. If she is absent, like a couple weeks ago, she wasn't able to be there for the whole week. So each day I created a document. I, kept up with what everyone was doing, wrote it down. I timed the reading when kids were reading. I timed how much they were, how much time they read, what book they read, and then I went home. I created an attachment and I sent it off in an email to her. So she had it shortly after I got out of work. Are there any other questions?
Not for me.
I don't think so.
Blew me away.
Thank you
That's
so
great.
much.
That's a
Well
pretty
done.
cool
Thank you
machine.
so much. Yeah.
Your fingers moving. I didn't know that the bottom row was moving.
Yes.
I thought you were typing down there.
No,
but I saw you
because
were-
when you push on these keys, it moves the Braille display. It's like when you move your cursor to advance your screen.
Right.
Now, is this yours, or does Striders
Yes.
provide you with this?
Nope, this is mine. Yes. But there's an organization called the Commission for the Blind that when blind people receive a job, they provide the equipment.
How long did it take you to learn to use it?
I went for about a week of training in February, and then they provided additional training. I would say, because I was familiar with the Braille Note before, because I had the classic, so it wasn't too much of a learning curve. I also had a small, it was called a Braille smartphone. It was the Braille Plus 18, and it was a smaller version of this. It had the same capabilities as this. So honestly, it didn't take me long to learn this. But like I said, I haven't even tried to do the touch screen. I'm just learning it on my phone, so
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and switch.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you so much.
So first of all, I have to say when we do something like this, I couldn't be more proud of the people that I get to work with on a daily and weekly basis at Striders. So thank you so much, Annalise. Thank you so much, Casey. Thank you to Jill, who had to leave. They're with one car right now. And thank you to our students, Sarah, Gracie, and Jaden. Chautauqua Striders started almost 40 years ago. And it started in the Jamestown area. It was a track and field club. And what they found out, and it was started by Ron Graham and Dan Feather, and what they tried doing is taking students that were kind of mulling about town in the evening hours and giving them something that they needed to do to keep off the streets. Well, what they found out is some of these students were really talented athletes, but they weren't on their high school's track and running teams and track and field. And there was a couple reasons. One was because of truancy, the other one was because of academic poor grades, and then the third was because of behavioral issues. So that's when our mentoring component developed, and then our tutoring, our academic mentoring component. Striders in Jamestown has been revered for the almost 40 years that they've been there. Here in the North County, we've only had a true presence for the last 14 years. And I've been here with Striders actually for almost 14 years now. And I always used to refer to North County Striders as the little engine that could. Because I am the only full-time employee that works in the North County. And this school year, we will be in every single school from Forestville all the way to Westfield. I have one part-time assistant. She comes in 10 hours a week to help me out with some office things and also some programming for our after-school programs here with the 21st Century programs in Dunkirk. I have Annalise. She's my lead academic mentor in Brockton through the Brockton After School program. But this year she's taking on a new role, and that role is the Strides for STEAM project coordinator. So she'll be getting more hours this year too, which I'm very proud of, because it's sad. It's a very part-time position when you're an academic mentor or tutor. It usually takes place between 2:30 and 5, Monday through Thursday. So it's not even a part-time job. So it's not going to give you a lot of hours. So I'm always grateful when I'm able to increase my very faithful staff's hours each week and each month. North County programs in the last, I would say especially 5 years, maybe even a little bit to 6 years, but the last 4 to 6 years, our programs have catapulted. We are just not the after-school homework help people anymore. We do life skills education, which we have trained and certified life skills educators that go into the schools either during the students' lunch breaks or during the after-school environment. We have Kids on the Move, which is a running program that we hosted at School 7 last year, which was outstanding. I couldn't believe how these little kids in 3rd through 5th grade got out there and truly ran a 5K during the Marauder Trotter. That's exceptional. We have our traditional mentoring. We haven't had a lot of funds for our mentoring component here, but that doesn't mean we stop it, because we know our community-based mentoring as well as our school-based mentoring is pivotal to the success of the students we work with. So not only are they coming to us for academic assistance, they're coming up to us for physical help and motivation in our Kids on the Move program. And then we get to address life skills. So in our life skills programs, the guidance counselors or the school principals or the social workers come to us and they say, we have a group of kids that we're having a concern with. Last year, we worked with a group of girls in one school that the teachers were addressing as bullies. They said that across the board, a lot of teachers, a lot of students were having trouble with this group of girls. So we enrolled them in our life skills education program. And sometimes it's really difficult to work with, you know, bullies and things like that. But our life skills educators have like a box of tricks and so many different methods to make the point that needs to be driven into these children's lives. And we see it doesn't happen overnight, and sometimes it doesn't happen in a month, and sometimes it doesn't happen in 2 months, and maybe we'll see it by the end of the school year, but we definitely do see improvement. One program that we ran last year, and we called it a boot camp. It was an after-school boot camp, and we concentrated only on ELA and math. We had a student, well, several students, who at the end of the previous school year had a percentage in the teens in both math and sometimes in ELA as well. And by the end of the year, working through our life skills education program once a week and coming to our academic mentoring every day after school, Monday through Thursday, they ended up raising their averages to above passing, and they were able to pass that year and to move on to the next grade. That's outstanding. I mean, all of our programs are evidence-based, so we follow strict guidelines. And we also have a very strict tool for reporting. We have a system, it's a data entry system, it's called Apricot, and every single item, working with a child, mentoring a student, someone making a phone call to us and saying, I'm having trouble, you know, with Johnny, everything in Apricot is documented. We have detailed case notes, we have detailed grades and reporting. And so at the end of the year, and I know like the Chautauqua County Youth Bureau and any of our funders, they receive our annual report. And in that annual report shows the amount of persons, which is sometimes unbelievable, that we work with in one school year. Here in the North County, it was always very small. And like I said, in this past couple years especially, we have ballooned to unheard of numbers. Right now in the Dunkirk After School Program through 21st Century, there's almost 500 students enrolled, like 100 students at each and every school. That's a lot. We have seen numbers here at the Boys and Girls Club and for Striders Tutoring decline just a little bit because of, I mean, kids can stay right in school and parents can pick them up, and then they have teachers actually working with the students after school, and you kind of have the best of both worlds. So some of the things we do to combat that is we'll reach out to different entities like Job Corps to see if they want to come and participate in tutoring maybe once a week like we used to prior. We also have STEAM stations which we set up in the community. We have one coming up at the Fredonia Farmers Market in Fredonia, and any child coming through, there's no cost associated with it. They can come and sit down. Parents can even leave them with a couple of our trusted staff, and they can interact and have a few fun projects and science-based curriculum, which is fun, to work with while there's a lot of stuff going on at the farmers market. One of our biggest successes, and anytime I talk about it, I truly get chills, is our Strides for STEAM. Last year, that was a small pilot project that was funded by the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation, and we had X amount of dollars for supplies for each site. We had 4 schools involved: Silver Creek, Fredonia, Dunkirk, and Westfield. For a pilot project, it couldn't have been more successful if we had tried. We partnered with SUNY Fredonia Enactus students who came in to teach the girls that were enrolled in Strides for STEAM, cost and sales analysis, business aspects, financial literacy, marketing, and each group of students, and this is all for girls because we're trying to increase the knowledge of STEAM-created careers for girls that are non-traditional in the female world. I mean, that really is the basis for our Strides for STEAM. Each of the girls' teams from each of the 4 schools created a prototype. They had to research the cost, how much it would cost to make, what types of materials would be needed to sell it and market it, and then they made it, And we had an open house and showcase at the Williams Center at SUNY Fredonia. We had superintendents who attended, we had assistant superintendents, we had several faculty and staff and guidance counselors who attended, we had city officials and village officials. It was amazing. And I had a young girl from Dunkirk, her name was Olivia. I had her come and speak with me with our group, Annalise was there too, at the economic development meeting in the city of Dunkirk. And I never tell anybody what to say, I don't force feed information, but I said, just come up with a few sentences about Strides for STEAM and what it meant to you. She came in with a covered front and page document and read it to everybody there. And the most important part that I thought she said was that it became a second family to her, and she was starting to rethink of what she wants to do later on in life. And that couldn't be more important. This year, and I say this, this has caught the attention in the Buffalo area, our Strides for STEAM. We received a generous grant. It was the first time we ever applied to the Community Foundation of Greater Buffalo through the Garmin Family Foundation. We received the full amount that we applied for, which, speaking to folks in Buffalo, they said that's unheard of. Like, people said, don't get your hopes up, Michelle, you might get a couple thousand. They are looking at this year as a pilot year. And I met with the vice president of the Community Foundation of Greater Buffalo, and she said that the family, when they saw this grant in front of them, they raised it to the top of their priority list. And that in future years, they may even fund it tremendously more and want to see it expand. Last year was 4 schools, this year is 6 schools. Maybe next year will be 12 schools. Who knows? Maybe I can actually get a full-time person in my office besides me. Wouldn't that be exciting? And so, again, you know, we Strides for STEAM and North County Striders, the little engine that could. Well, I think now we've become the locomotive of Striders in the North County. We're really the pace setters. And again, my staff, my tutors and my academic mentors and my life skills coordinators, with a minimum wage hike, you know, we used to start $3 to $4 above minimum wage with Striders, and now with the minimum wage increase, that's not possible anymore. So they do a tremendous amount of work for not that much money. But their dedication and their professionalism and their camaraderie with the students that they work with is exceptional. And so again, when I see them talking, I feel like a mom sometimes to them. I'm so proud of them. They make Striders in the North County what it is, and I am ever eternally grateful for them. I'm going to end with one last thing. In the North County, we don't have a lot of support. I've been pushing this for about 6 years, and I've wanted an advisory council from people who are from the North County and who believe in the North County and who are excited about the developments in Dunkirk and Silver Creek and Fredonia and Brockton and Westfield, because we love it here and we've resided here and we work here. Finally, we are going to have an advisory council. And I already have 4 heavy hitters, as I like to say, already who want to be on board with that. So my challenge to you is, if you know somebody who wants to support this program, who now is present in schools from Forestville all the way to Westfield and is working with close to 400 children a school year, please send them my way. We need them. We do need them desperately. George and I were talking earlier today about sustainability. I'm not going to be here forever. And so I need to know that this area is strong and committed to Striders when I walk out that door the last day. Although I think I'll always be involved in Strides for STEAM. I don't think I can give that one up so easily. But please send them my way. I'm going to pass these out. Every single brochure that we have, anytime we do a STEAM station, anytime we're in the public, I have laminated posters that list all of our funders. Because people need to know that Strider's success is 100% due to the funders who continually give us money. Even through some of the difficult years that we've had in the past few years, Deb Kathman is back as our interim executive director, and I think things are moving in a much more positive direction. But we need you, and we need you to tell your friends and your family and your friends' friends all about us. And so there's a big stack here, and so you take a couple each and you distribute them. Thank you so much for giving us this time today. We greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Michelle, can I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
Your community mentoring program, how many kids and how is that structured?
So our community mentoring program, we had about 15 matches last year. And it's structured, the community-based mentoring takes place right here at the Boys and Girls Club. So any student who is enrolled in the Boys and Girls Club can participate in our tutoring program as well as our mentoring. And we usually have students from SUNY Fredonia who are their mentors. Now we also have school-based mentoring, and that they're adult professionals from the area. I have a CPA, I have a retired mayor, I have a retired social worker. People like that, they go into the schools right during the lunchtime and meet with the students. And mentoring is only once a week. We do have mentoring activity nights, and you know, we try and get the kids together with their mentors in a big group type thing at least once a month.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Before they need to leave, I just wanted Jermaine very quickly to say just a few things.
Out the door. Penny Kid is mine. And the other ones are too. I've seen a huge difference in my children's development in terms of academics when they started with Striders. They love the mentorship, they love the activity nights, they love having some place to be, some place to go other than just going to school or doing sports or whatever. As you can see from the experiments that we're doing, they're very into it, very excited about it. They love talking about it, they love talking about Striders, and I'm a big supporter of the program. And I don't like to hear you talk about leaving the program ever, ever. One day they'll graduate, won't be in the program, and that kind of makes me sad, but I couldn't be more proud of the program. I've watched it grow, having my daughter first come to Boys and Girls Club when she was in 3rd grade to now my son's in 3rd grade. So I've kind of had a chance to watch it grow, and I've been on activities with them, and it's just awesome what we do in our little tiny neck of the woods of Western New York, you know. And so it's nice to see this happen than seeing all the other stuff that we see happen in our neighborhood. So I couldn't be more prouder and appreciative of what Striders does.
Thank you, Jermaine.
All right.